birds are classified as members of kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, and class Apes. Birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs during the Jurassic around 165 to 150 million years ago, and their classic small, lightweight, feathered, and winged body plan was pieced together gradually over tens of millions of years of evolution, rather than in one burst of innovation. Particularly important and still contentious discovery is Archaeopteryx lithographica, found in the Jurassic Solnhofen limestone of southern Germany. What characteristics do all birds in common? All birds are vertebrates and endothermic. The bodies of most but not all birds are adapted for flight. In order to fly, birds need hollow bones to make the bird lightweight, large chest muscles to move their wings, and feathers. They are only animals that have feathers. So here's the three different kinds of feathers. First is contour feather, one of the large feathers on a bird that gives shapes to a bird's body. Second is flight feathers, long contour feathers that extend beyond the body on the wings and tail, help the bird to balance and steer. Contour feathers in general have a central shaft and projections called ribs. So the third is down feathers, short, fluffy feather that are specialized to trap heat and keep the bird warm. Found right next to the bird's skin at the base of the contour feathers are soft and flexible. Birds must obtain a lot of food to provide the energy needed to fly. Each day, the average bird eats food equal to about a quarter of its body weight. This is why the phrase, "you're eating like a bird," is incorrect.
The nervous system and the digestion. The nervous system of the birds. The nervous system and the important sensory organs play a key role in the day-to-day functioning of an animal. The nervous system integrates and controls the various functions of the body, while the sensory organs detect the various stimuli in the bird's environment that it interacts to. Functions are actively or automatically controlled. Next is the brain. The brain is located in the head as well protected by the bones of the cranium. The brain consists of a number of parts which in turn consist of various special cells that have the ability to detect, recognize, remember, and direct. The brain is the control center of many functions and activities of many systems, organs, and tissues that make up the bird's body. Next is the spinal cord. The spinal cord, as the name suggests, is a cord of nerve tissue that extends from the medulla oblongata of the brain along almost the full extremity of the vertebral column through the canal provided for that purpose. The spinal cord and the brain constitute the central nervous system. Like the brain, the spinal cord is well protected, firstly by its spinal fluid and that closes it, also of which is fully enclosed within the bones of the vertebral column. The various nerves that provide for the control of the various systems, organs, and tissues of the body leave the spinal cord through appropriate openings located in the joints between the different vertebrae. Sensory organs. The sensory organs receive various stimuli from the bird's environment. Depending on the mode of action of the stimuli, special endings of the nerves will perceive that stimulus. This is the digestion of the birds. Inside the bird's stomach, food is bathed in digestive juices and then passes into a special muscular organ called the gizzard. This grinds is done into smaller pieces for easy digestion. Some birds, such as ostrich, swallow pebbles to help the grinding process. Birds do not chew or digest food the same way as humans or other familial mammals do. Understanding birds' different digestive organs and their eating process can help birds be more knowledgeable about the best foods for birds and why a healthy diet is important for every bird.
Bird's respiratory system with the structures and functions. First, lungs. Most birds have a pair of parabronchi composed of an old lung and new lung, though some birds do not have this so-called new lung. Lungs do not expand or contract, which means it is just steady or static because gas exchange do not occur in the alveoli. Instead, the gas exchange occurs in the aerial capillaries. Mammals, reptiles, and birds have lungs, yes, but only birds have air sacs. Actually, there are 7 to 9 air sacs of birds depending on their species. The 9 air sacs are interclavicular air sacs, 2 cervical air sacs, 2 anterior thoracic air sacs, 2 posterior thoracic air sacs, and 2 abdominal air sacs. These air sacs have a very thin walls with some capillaries, so they do not play an important role in the gaseous exchange. However, its duty is to keep the lungs ventilated. Air sacs, responsible to pump air into the complex bronchial system in the lungs. These are the ones that inflate and deflate, not the lungs. Allow the one-way flow of air through the lungs. This means the air that reaches the lungs is mostly fresh air with higher oxygen content. Act as holding tanks. Trachea, work in resisting the flow of air. Syrinx. Birds have larynx, but they do not use it to produce sound. The syrinx is the one in charge as an acting voice box that produces a high resonant sounds. Syrinx can only be found in birds. Birds do not have a diaphragm. The air moves in and out of the respiratory system through the pressure changes in the air sacs. Birds' breathing process. The process of breathing in birds requires two cycles: inhalation, inhalation again, and exhalation again. First inhalation. Air passes through the nostrils. First exhalation. Air moves from the posterior air sacs to the bronchi, then to the lungs. Second inhalation. Air passes to the cranial air sacs. Second exhalation. Air exits the air sacs through the syrinx, trachea, larynx, and finally out of the nostrils. Bird circulatory system. The structure of bird circulatory system and their functions. Heart, the most important organ of any vertebrate animal in their circulatory system, has the important task of distributing oxygen and nutrients to the body through the blood. Though the speed of heartbeat is lower, the volume of pumped blood is greater in birds than in mammals, maybe because it makes them able to fly and run very fast. Just like a mammalian heart, bird's heart is composed of 4 chambers with 2 atria and 2 ventricles with no mixture of venous and arterial blood. On the other hand, bird's aorta curves down to the right, unlike a mammal's aorta which curves down to the left. Veins and arteries. Inside a bird's body, blood flows through different blood vessels. Arteries carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the body cells. Arterioles distribute the blood directly to the tissues and organs. Capillaries performs the exchange between nutrients, gases, and residual products, maybe metabolic waste, between the blood and the cells of the body. Veins responsible for driving the blood back to the heart for the blood to be oxygenated again.
Excretory system of birds consists of 2 kidneys, a left and a right. These kidneys are dark red with a fine bucculated patient visible. A small white tube, which is the ureter, connects each kidney to the cloaca. Each ureter carries the urine produced with kidneys to the cloaca where it leaves the body. As birds do not have urinary bladder, the urine is refluxed from the cloaca into colon. Birds do not possess a separate organ where urine can be restored until excreted or where post-renal modification of urine can be accomplished. These utilize organs or organ system to maintain homeostasis of total body water. These 3 are the kidney, gastrosplenal tract, and nasal or orbital salt glands. When the kidneys are diseased or damaged and unable to carry out their function efficiently, the animal becomes dehydrated and death often occurs quickly. Reproduction. Reproduction in birds may be quite complicated and lengthy. Birds reproduce by internal fertilization, during which the egg is fertilized inside the female. Birds have cloaca or a single exit and entrance of eggs, sperms, and waste. During mating season, the cloacal openings of both male and female birds swell, protruding slightly outside their body. The male sperm, which has been stored in his cloaca, is deposited into the female's cloaca where it travels up the chamber and eventually fertilizes the egg. These eggs have a fulfilled amnion, a thin membrane forming a closed sac around the embryo. Eggs are usually laid in nests.
The locomotion of birds. Most birds use at least 2 modes of locomotion. This is flying and walking, or terrestrial locomotion. The wing and tail are used for flying. The example for flying is parrots, and the legs are mainly used for walking. The example for walking is chicken, even though many of them are also swim. The example for swim is duck. Birds show 2 types of flight movement. They are gliding and flapping. And this is the picture of gliding. Gliding is during this movement, the wings and tails of the birds spread out. The birds use the air current for moving up and down. And the last one, flapping. And this is the picture of flapping. Flapping is an active flight during which the bird beats the air by flapping its wings, equipped with the light feathers. Classes and its examples of birds. Apes is the bird class. It is a class that includes living species evolved from reptiles, not mammals. However, they have adapted to fly. Apes are warm-blooded species with scale on their feet. And also, apes is a class in phylum Chordata. It includes all the birds. And the examples of the birds are ostrich. A ostrich is a species of flightless bird native to certain large areas of Africa and is the largest living bird species. And the second one is parrots. Parrots are popular as pets, and parrots are also known as cetaceans. They are famous for the extensive imitation, including human words and multitudes of sounds. And the last one is owl. Owls are classed as mainly nocturnal, and the owls are active at night, a group that is the most closely related to nightjars.